Terran Lab Show.
The Terran Lab Show.
The Terran Lab Show.
The Terran Lab Show.
It's the Terran Lab Show.
It's the Terran Lab Show.
Where the topic of discussion is you.
So let's go.
Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you? This is the Terran Lamb Show. Thank you so much for joining me. In each episode, we are going to dive into the incredible stories of those making a difference in our community. We've teamed up with Chicago News Weekly to bring you the health and wellness journeys of those around us who are shaping our world. So thank you so much for joining me. I truly, truly appreciate it. And today, she's so pretty, right? Like we have
Thank you.
Morgan Nicole Martin.
Yes.
She is a wellness leader, speaker, and founder of Live and Believe Wellness, as well as the owner of Lab Fitness and Nutrition on the South Side of Chicago. She is also the co-founder of We Live and Believe movement, creating curated wellness experiences that bring Black and Brown women together in a safe, healing, and empowering spaces. In this season, Morgan is centered on helping women reset their nervous system, reconnect to their bodies, and build strength from a place of softness and self-trust. After the unexpected loss of her brother, Morgan transformed her grief into purpose, growing a movement rooted in resilience, embodiment, and belief. Morgan's mission is to help people live fully and believe that anything is possible, while creating spaces where women feel safe enough to soften, strong enough to rise, and supported enough to transform. I love that. I love it so much, Morgan. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
I really like that. Safe enough to soften,
Yeah.
strong enough to rise,
Yeah.
and supported enough to transform. And we're going to talk about also you're pursuing your NASM, women's specialization
Yes.
in fitness.
Yes.
And that goes right along with what you're saying about
Yeah.
safe enough to soften, strong enough to rise, and
Yeah.
supported enough to transform. So tell me a little bit about, tell me about you and how you got your passion, first of all,
Yeah.
for health and wellness. We were talking about it a little bit before the show, but how did this become in you, your passion?
Gosh, there's honestly so many levels and layers to like figuring out, but to make a long story short, I've always been active like most of my life.
Mhm.
Was a cheerleader. I graduated from University of Illinois. I was a varsity cheerleader there. I ran track. I did all these different things. So being active was always like a thing for me until those things are done and you're taken away and now you're an adult and you have a job and you have all these things and it's like, oh, I still need to move my body. I still need to do all those things. So part of it was a little bit of that journey for me. I think starting to have that inkling of like, now you get to now do these things for yourself, not because a coach is telling you, not because someone else is telling you. And then at the time, I think my personal journey really started. I was living out in Los Angeles. And it's probably many of us, up and down yo-yo dieter, everything you could probably think of. I had
The LA diet
to extremes. And to the point where my body, I remember literally being in the shower one day and my body was like, this is not life. You cannot carry on and continue on this way. And so I really started making a commitment to myself to really start to learn more about, nutrition, to start to tap into the movement in the physical workouts that felt better for me. And then I also wanted to be able to tap in and be able to do that with my family. And so I'll never forget, I remember calling my family up. They were in Chicago at the time. And I was like, look, we as a family get to really tap in and get our lives together.
Yeah.
I put up a message on Facebook and I said, look, the Martins are getting fit and fabulous. Who wants to tap in and join us?
Yeah.
And that was my mom, my dad, and my brother all together.
You're like, Martins, come on.
Yeah, because I'm like, if I'm going to do it, we get to really, truly do this together. And I knew there was something in that moment knew that if I was going to take this journey for me, I knew that in some capacity I was going to take other people along with it, whether it was just my family or whether it was going to be more people. And lo and behold, many, many years later, it's been hundreds.
Was everybody on board? Was all the family on board? Or were they like,
not gonna lie, my
brother, girl, what you doing out there?
My dad at first was the like, oh no. But my mom and my brother went 100% full force. We sat, we talked, we put together a full plan. And part of the purpose of my story, literally the same day that the very next day that we had just had that full conversation, I had made the post. My brother actually unexpectedly passed away from a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot to the lungs. And so that was just.
And he was young, yeah?
He was young. My brother was 25.
Yeah.
And, you know, at the time, it was like, throw everything away.
Yeah.
Like, but I tell people now, and I can genuinely say this, and I think my family will echo this, it was probably one of the worst, and as crazy as it sounds, one of the best things that could have happened to our family. And it sounds weird when I say that, but the worst because
the worst.
He was my brother.
Yeah.
We're a year and a half apart. We might as well have been twins.
Yeah.
He was my best friend. I talked to him every single day. We had missions and visions and things that we wanted to do together. But I never questioned God, and things happen for a reason. And his purpose has continued on in our lives, which has made it one of the best things. My whole family is together.
Yeah.
We carry on his legacy in so many different things that we do. And so in a way, Marcus is always still with us in everything that we do.
Yeah, and it did give you, like you said, it gave you a refocus. Maybe.
Refocus.
And it also gave you affirmation or confirmation
For
or
sure.
whatever that word is, you know, that you
It was
are
pause.
on the right path.
Yeah, I think for me, it gave me pause. You know, our lives are so busy. We're go, go, go. We do all these things. And it was probably the first time in my life that I felt like I had a real pause where nobody was going to need anything from me because they knew I was going through something. But I didn't know that going through something, that pause was also going to birth something phenomenal. So really, truly, tragedy to triumph.
Yeah, and then you decided, okay, I'm going to stick with this, and I'm going to keep this this legacy going, right? Share with us more about how you give back to the community with Live and Believe Wellness. I love the name, right? Because I think that, you know, believe that anything is possible. And I think it's not just a name like when you think about lab fitness, but you think it's not just lab, it means something.
100%.
And it also means like something to you specifically, especially with the experience you experienced, right? So tell us a little bit about that and kind of how you've drawn people into that. Because I was saying earlier that, you know, I stalked you on social media, or stalk, I don't know if I should say stalk. Stalk's probably not a good word, but cut stalk.
Totally fine.
And just say followed.
Yes.
I followed you on social media. And I was also saying earlier, before you got here, that you can see like from your social media, like your spirit. Now I see you in real life, but on your social media, you can see your spirit. So how did you know that you wanted to live and believe, and you wanted that to be your mission behind your fitness?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that really breaks everything down. The live part was, you know, oftentimes we wait for something drastic to happen for us to really live our lives. And the goal for me was to help people, and first starting with myself. I always tell people I don't like being called an expert. I don't like being, because at the end of the day, we're always on this everlasting journey of figuring things out. But the live part was, how can you figure out how to truly live your life in the best way possible? Nutritionally, what does that mean for you? Physically, what does that mean for you? Mentally, spiritually, what does that mean for you? What does it mean to really just like feel good in your body and have more days of joy than you have days of anything else, right? And so really creating our brick and mortar space has always been that, but also being able to do that in the community. And then the belief part of it is, I think sometimes, especially when you start to get to a certain age, you almost kind of start to forget, like, what are the goals and the things that you have? Who are you really outside of being, especially working with women, outside of being just a mom or a wife or a coworker or this or that? Like, what do you really want for your life? And those things are still possible. So,
and what do you want to believe?
What do you want to believe?
What do you want to believe in, right? What do you want to believe in? I was just, again, saying earlier, like, because with my journey with fitness, you know, I have a purpose behind I call it purposeful progress is what I've deemed it now. Purposeful progress, because I'm in a phase of my life where I'm like and I deem this word too, an intentional lifelong athlete. Now, one of my friends asked me, what exactly does that mean? Does it mean that we're a little older? And I was like, well, you can call it what you want, but I think it's an intentional lifelong athlete, because I think it is about being intentional, and I think it is about being purposeful, but I also think it's about being well.
Yes. Being well.
Right.
And being well looks and feels different in different stages and phases of your life.
Forever being well could be physical wellness, 1 quarter, 1 day, one second at a time, or it can mean mentally being well. So I love Live and Believe Wellness, because it's like we got to live this life,
100%.
but we got to believe.
Yeah, and that's really what the work is. And so the brick and mortar space that we have in Beverly, in every way we try to embody that. We have a little hangout nutrition cafe in the front and a small little group workout studio where people come. But our work has expanded past the four walls. We're doing a lot of partnerships with Chicago public school systems, building workshops not only for the staff to live and be well, for the students and the youth to live and be well, community events and different things like that. So even if people can't come to us, we're like, don't worry. Our goal is to be able to take out and bring it to other people.
So you mentioned it earlier, and this was our next question. How did the unexpected loss you experienced change your perspective to encompass more than just the physical, but to include our whole selves? Now, you mentioned the loss of your brother, and that was, talking about living and believing, right? Like you had to still live and still believe, right? So how did you take that unexpected loss and turn really, like you said in your bio, grief into purpose? Because I don't even pretend to imagine it. So I might not want to do anything. Yeah. So how did you transition that into
It started off as not wanting to do anything. Yeah. It was for sure, it was one of the darkest periods of my life. And anybody that knows me, this is my spirit. I am I am, more days than not, or I'll at least figure out a way to get here. And I just remember having more days than not where I couldn't get out of bed. Yeah. I felt like a 500-pound fat man was sitting on my chest. All I wanted was to be in the dark. For me, it felt like, how can I live when the person that I love the most is no longer living? And believing. Yeah. So all of that, when I tell you, completely stripped away. But this is where pause sometimes allows you to remember your purpose. So right when I was going on my own wellness journey, there was one couple that I actually was helping on their journey, on their wellness journey alongside with mine. They actually were in Chicago while I was in LA. And because I'm in LA, the time difference is 2 hours. So this woman and her husband would message me. In LA time, it would be 6 a.m. in the morning, because it'd be 8 a.m. in Chicago. Every morning, hey, I'm eating my healthy breakfast today. Hey, I'm going on my walk today. Mind you, they have no idea. I'm laying in the bed. I'm depressed. Yeah. I don't want to get up. I don't want under the covers. I don't want to talk to anybody. Yeah. But it would give me enough just to at least message them. And little by little, I just remember waking up one day and saying, but I do still have the opportunity to live. Mm-hmm. Marcus would want me to live. I'm also now helping other people live. Yeah. And I say this all the time. Her name was Jermaine. She was one of those women that reminded me of my purpose, even when she didn't realize that she was. Because that was the only thing that gave me a little glimpse of something purposeful. Mm-hmm. And from there, I ended up moving back to Chicago. I moved back to Chicago, and I've been here over 11 years and consistently building.
I think it's just great because, when you hear of stories, tragedies like that, I always think that life gives us these things where we can go one or two ways in the world. Right? For sure. You can go right or left. Like, here's your thing that happened, and you have the opportunity to go here, or you have the opportunity to go here. And so it's always interesting to me what path people take. And to your point earlier, people can take whatever path works for them, right? So it's always interesting to me which path people take and then what they do with that, right?
And grief is interesting. Grief comes in waves. Yeah. And I think for me, and myself and my family, our goal was to, I found life through also honoring Marcus's life through the work that I did. So when I moved to Chicago, we would do big fitness workouts in the park, and we would toast healthy shots up to Marcus of green juice or whatever, or smoothies or things like that. It helped me by almost bringing his spirit along to the things that meant something to me.
Because he also was participating in this journey along the way. 100%. You know what I mean? Was watching you in those LA days, figure out your way and figuring out his own way, because you guys were so close in age, literally. Yeah. Right? So figuring out his own health and wellness journey and sports journey and the things that he did. Yeah. And so I think that's just it, right? It gave you some sort of I say purpose, but I mean like purpose beyond yourself.
100%. It was.
Like when you look over
I
there.
knew I was doing something bigger than me.
Yeah, bigger than you. That's
What was
saying.
happening, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I, Morgan, could not have even started to build or do completely by myself. Marcus was with me. God was with me. My family was with me. And little by little, it just kept flowing and finding the right people and like alignment, and like it almost started to grow so organically and easily. That's when I knew. I think sometimes we look for like the fight or the struggle. I got to work so hard, and it didn't feel like that. I mean, obviously, you know,
it's
hard work.
Yeah.
But the bare bones of it just started coming together so beautifully that I knew I was in the right place.
And you probably met other people who shared their journeys with you, who were really trying to get to this place of live and believe, right?
Yeah.
That's why they're here, literally, specifically at your facility, because they're like, I'm literally trying to live and believe myself, and it's
100%.
a daily thing.
It's a daily practice.
It's a daily practice. So I wanted to hear more about the Thrive Drum Cardio, because I looked on. I mean, I wish we had some.
I know.
Right here. Yeah, because I feel like there's so many things. I feel like there's a workout in there. I feel like there is. I just want to pound on something.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that to me is like, sometimes you just, if you can get a workout and get out some frustration and pound, I see you pounding on those things and standing up. And so tell me about that.
Yeah.
We should have brought some.
I know, we really should have. That just means you got to come and join that class.
Yeah.
But Thrive Drum Cardio, it's all the things.
Yeah.
And why I love it, I'm a dancer by nature, so I love movement and sound and music and all of that. And I started off teaching a dance class, and still do, called Thrive Thursday. And when I was introduced to the concept of drumming, and I was like, but I can fuse these two things that I love.
Okay.
This element plus music plus dance. And what I love about it is it's easy for all levels to do. My 94-year-old grandmother will drum it out in a heartbeat.
Okay, pause.
Yes.
I have zero rhythm.
And you can't.
So am I going to be in the drum circle?
No.
The only one with no rhythm.
You almost can't help it. You almost can't help it. It's because the music's going, everybody's in the same kind of like, it's such community. I love it because it's community based.
Yeah.
We don't get the opportunity sometimes to just be free and let go.
Yeah.
Everything in life sometimes is so rigid and so
no
strict.
judgment zone.
There is no judgment zone, because you can't really mess up. I always tell people, unless somebody hits you with a stick, you can, I don't know.
So hold into my sticks.
Hold into your sticks.
Yeah.
Other than that, go crazy. And physically, you're working a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's very cardiovascular.
I can see your arms. Your arms, but I'm saying like your arms.
I'm going to do it. Yeah. You're working your arms. You're engaging your core. You're working your thighs. You're working your legs. Depending upon the level, sometimes we're jumping. So we're working on like calisthenics, like so many different elements. But it can also come down and be even calming too. Like I've done Thrive Drum Cardio in senior citizen homes where they're in chairs and just like moving like upper body wise. There's so many elements. But what also, and I don't always talk about this because I don't want to like science and woo people out, but you're also working both sides of your brain. So it really is a therapeutic release, because when you're drumming, you're not only releasing, you're tapping into both sides of the brain in ways that you're not even conscious of. So then what happens at the end of class, I can feel, and I know the people that are in it can feel this sense of release and don't even know why it's happening. So we always end our classes with a like meditation and affirmation closing, because I know that they just did crazy releasing. And now I can't send you out in the world like that. Like I can't send you out and now you're just like open and like you don't even know what's happening.
Okay.
So we always do something at the end of class to like bring it back to this place of groundedness, bring it back to a place of believing again, bring it back to a space of like, all right, this is your pause for the day. You just went crazy for 45, 50 minutes. These last 5 minutes are to settle your nervous system, to come back down. So now you can go out into the world with that energy.
Yeah, because that's one of the things your bio says, right? You you help women center and reset their nervous system, reconnecting to their bodies and build strength to a place of softness and self-trust. So this is helping us kind of reset our nervous system.
100%.
Or maybe even like, I feel there's a little bit of that to me that's for some people, getting into their nervous system, right? Like some people just like
Being aware.
This is their only time to touch it because they're like they've been like this all day. When they come there, they probably just literally ready to
100%.
Our
Our quote is leave it all on the ball.
Yeah.
Like whatever happened outside of those four walls or outside of the class or before you come into this space, our goal is to have you literally leave it all on the ball. We'll clean them, we'll wash them down, we'll put them away so that you don't walk out with the same energy that you came in with.
Yeah. I think that's cool. I mean, it's a cool method.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think about fitness, right? You think about wellness, and
Yeah.
that's what we're here talking about. But this is a kind of a different type for the average person, right?
For sure.
Like, I think that's cool. And when you watch it, and I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I need to do this just for the fun of it. I'm sure it's going to give me lots of other things, but it just looks so fun.
Yeah.
And it did look like, you know, for me, I'm thinking get my frustrations out. No, like I said, there's way more behind it. I think science behind it.
All the
than
things.
just me.
Yeah.
But I think getting your frustrations out, releasing, getting your nervous system out, working on toning, working on a different way, as I've said before, you know, lifelong athlete, a wiser athlete now.
Yeah.
What do I do with fitness to kind of give myself something different?
Yeah.
When I think about that.
And that's where that came from. Like, again, my regimen prior to like really finding out like what is good for Morgan and what Morgan's body need was always what someone else told me to do.
Yeah.
You're in the training. I was an athlete my whole life.
Yeah.
Your coach told you this is the workout regimen, you have to do it. This is what we're doing, you have to do it. There was never but I think this is, you don't think about what your body needs. You were always told. And so now for me, it's about helping women, people, and myself learn to tune in enough to say, okay, my body needs, you know what? I think I need yoga today. Or, you know what? I really get to focus on strength. And sometimes we just don't trust our instincts enough to also be in tune with ourselves to figure out what those things are.
I like that you said that we're always told what to do. And that's a good point in fitness. We're often told what to do, right?
Yeah.
We're told, do this workout, upper body days on Mondays, lower body. And I think it's fine, you know, for certain things.
And
But I also think it's good to know, right?
Yes.
Because I feel like I have a structured approach. I, you know, talk to people about having a structured approach. And if you're new to fitness, for sure,
100%.
you know, keep your guidance. But I also think it's fun to have other things in your repertoire. Maybe whether it's Zumba, whether it's drum circle, whether it's karate or, you know, martial arts or whatever it is, right? That you need to keep your body moving.
Yeah. And I always use this analogy, again, growing up as a dancer, one of my best dance teachers used to always say, do exactly as I do and follow this structure until you feel strong enough, then you can add your own flair. So to your same point, I wouldn't advise somebody that's like either first starting out on their journey or just getting back into it to be like, you know what, I'm going to do whatever I feel. Yeah. I think it's important to have like that structure and to have someone that can help you and really put the plan in place.
Because you could get hurt.
Because 100%. But then you start to tap in and learn enough where you can start to take those little liberties yourself. But I think the framework is key.
Framework. That's a good point. The starting framework and structure.
Yeah.
Now, this is the question. How do you yourself, well, I'm going to break this down.
Okay.
How do you yourself first practice living fully?
Yeah.
Because you're telling everybody else to do it.
100%.
And we agree.
Yeah.
We're all here on the same page. So how do you live fully? How do you practice?
Honestly, I help other people by first having to do it through myself. One of the things for me, and I think the number one thing, and I think it's so key because people know when I don't, my morning routine flow is that's my sanctuary.
Okay.
Before I look at a message, talk to a person, open a text message, doing anything, my morning routine is like my sacred time to really tap into myself.
Okay.
And it can look slightly different depending upon the day or how much time I have or whatever, but it usually consists of some type of one pause because we wake up in the morning and the first thing often, at least what I used to do was wake up and like go and check and but it's like, nope, stop, pause, check in with self. Some type of movement. So if it's a small thing, if I don't have much time, maybe it's whatever at home, whether it's maybe it's going to the gym, maybe it's doing something at home. And then I'm a journaler. I'm a writer.
Okay.
My brain is filled with 500 million things all the time. So I try to start off my day literally just journal releasing everything I can think of, good, bad, to-do list, whatever, so that I'm not going through the rest of my day with the heaviness or the things or the thoughts. So that's my way to like shed the first layer so that I really can step into, being lighter before the day tries to make you heavier.
So when we're finished, I gotta find it because I just literally just read this yesterday about the difference between people who wake up and they pause, and the difference. It's something that I feel like it was like, I don't want to get science. You know what I mean? I don't want to get it wrong, but it was saying the benefits of waking up and pausing and letting your body. It was almost like your body wakes up. If you wake up too much in panic mode,
100%.
So don't get your body in panic mode when you're still waking up. Keep your body in calm mode, and that's going to have level set your day versus waking up in panic mode when you're like, check, I'm late, and even if you're late, I tell people 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Especially, I do a lot of workshops, with educators and staff and CPS, and it's always comes up like, oh, I just don't have time. I have my own kids, and I'm doing all. I'm like, everybody can find 5 minutes, even if it's just 5 minutes. 5 minutes of something for you can literally shift the trajectory of your entire day. And then honestly, throughout the day, life is still gonna life and all the things. But I think aside from that, I think the biggest key that helps me live is the circle of people around me. I mean, I have genuinely been blessed with one of the most I have one of the most amazing families. My parents are phenomenal. My grandmother, Grandma Shar, she's 94 years old and probably the sassiest thing you've ever met. They're phenomenal. Like, I keep them around me. I have some of the best, close-knit circle of friends. I get to work with some of the most amazing people. So like, part of helping me live is also knowing who and how to give energy to, and who's going to also be able to fuel into me. So it's not always just a gift, but reciprocal relationships is a huge part of living. And I think it's so important to have all that and to do all that. I don't know if I've said this before, but it's kind of funny and, a little bit TMI, but we're going to do it.
Let's go.
It's like during the day, sometimes when I'm out and about, I will go into a bathroom and I will just stand there in the stall and I'll be like, this is my 5 minutes of fame. Like right here. Like I just need a moment. You know what I mean? Like just like you said, to level set. It's not like I'm actually going to the bathroom. I'm just literally just standing. And it's just like that square. I'm just standing.
Because it cuts out that. That type of things. And of course, when you can in Chicago, I'm even the crazy person who'll step outside in the snow or whatever, but something you just need to step away for a moment.
Just step in that square and just
and give yourself permission to do that.
And I might pray or I might just deep breath or do something. But sometimes I'm around so many people and I'm like, let me just go in this little box. I know what people call this a restroom. But I'm just calling it a little box. Okay, so how do you practice believing anything is possible?
For me, it's definitely I call this season, or not even just season, this is my goal, is to really co-create my life with God. I mean, so much of my belief comes from knowing that I have access to something and someone way more powerful than what I can do on my own. So tapping into that space. And then also, I'm a visualizer. So part of a lot of, days or mornings, I will stop and I still allow myself to write out and dream. Not being afraid of keeping myself in a box, because, we sometimes focus on what we don't have or what's not here yet, or the things that we can see. But I think faith is truly believing and knowing that the things that you want are possible, even if you can't see them yet. But sometimes you gotta be, but sometimes you gotta be silly enough, like the little kid. If you ever watch a little kid play, they are creating this little circle is now a steering wheel of a car. It's on their head. It's on their head. Driving. And we lost that somewhere along the way. So sometimes I just take moments to allow myself to really just write out what do I still want, regardless of what and where my life looks like right now? what are those things for me? Because if I can still see it, there's something in me that still has the ability to be able to believe that it's also
Yeah,
possible.
and if you can still dream it.
100%.
Yeah, it's
we
still
stop dreaming as adults.
Yeah, we do. And kids, they're still in it.
They're in all the things.
In the land that we need to be in.
100%.
What does the future hold then?
So many things. I mean, for Live and Believe specifically, just continuing to grow and be a pillar in the community, not only just inside of our brick and mortar, but to be able to tap into really specifically, like I said, getting this specialization certification for women. I know that for me is a really huge calling right now to tap more into more women's events, more things that bring us together, safe spaces to be able to, yes, work out and move and educate and learn, but even just to have conversations like this, because we don't get it enough. To be able to host retreats and things like that, where we can have safe spaces to be able to do that as well, and just continuing to do that,
to live and believe.
To live and believe. Not only first for myself, but then also for myself, so that I can also be able to have that for other people.
So this is, I think, almost the last question.
Okay.
Because the last question, I want people to tell where they can find you.
Yes.
This is not on the chart.
Okay.
This is not on our thing. And I always tell people no judgment.
Yeah.
We practiced that already.
For sure.
So Morgan, when I moved here, there's these little cats in my backyard. I thought it was cold. So I saved these little cats. Everybody knows it. Everybody talks about it.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Like the cat has his own Instagram. So curiosity in the cats. So what is Morgan curious about?
What am I curious about? I am curious about, so many things. I think I'm right now, and I think again, because I think I'm just so focused on women, I'm curious to see how the world continues to evolve and shift and change when more of us come together and bring our gifts. I truly believe that I don't care who's in the forefront of the world, America, whatever. I believe wholeheartedly that we are really the ones that are in so much control.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious of what that can and will really look like when more of us come together, align our gifts, align the things that we are talented in, and the power that we have, what we can unlock in this world that hasn't already been unlocked.
Yeah, it's really when we live and believe.
When we live and believe.
And it's not like, can we do it? It's, yes, can we do it? So we're doing it.
We are doing it.
How are we going to keep doing it?
How are we going to keep doing it and magnify it even more.
Yeah, and show up for the world.
Yeah.
And show up for ourselves and show up for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think that's good because I do think that we harness a lot of power. We harness a lot of power now, currently.
Yes.
And we have a lot of untapped power
100%.
that we haven't gotten to.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I mean, I really do. I mean, tell people where they can find you. I almost forgot that again.
Yes. So most.
I was talking about it and then I forgot about it.
So website, you can check out all the things that we have going on at Live and Believe at liveandbelievewellness.com. You can also find me at morgannicolemartin.com. And then on social media, it's at Morgan Nicole Martin and at Live and Believe Wellness. And Thrive Gym Cardio. That's in there. So you can't any of those things. You can't miss it. Thrive Gym Cardio. You can at Thrive Gym Cardio as well. We host workshops and things and all of that. So all of the things are all together.
Live and Believe and Thrive Gym.
Live and Thrive Gym Cardio. Yeah.
That I gotta take that class.
Yes.
Now that you said I don't have to have any rhythm, I was a little concerned.
No,
I was like, oh my gosh, she has rhythm.
You'd be surprised.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is the Terran Lamb Show. If you have a story, I would love to have you on the show. If you know someone who has a story, I would love to have them on the show. I'm on social media platforms, all of them. I am Terran L on social media. And until next time, everyone, be good to yourself and each other. Okay? This is the Terran Lamb Show. See you next time.